We are live right now. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on DLive. We're even live on Twitter as we speak. So anybody's on Twitter, you want to see the background and see the videos, you just got to jump on YouTube because we're one big, happy, wonderful family. And look who we got today, guys. We got Bigfoot Anon that just came from a conference. And we're going to get into his conference in a little bit. But I want to thank you guys for all being here. Just letting you guys know, this Saturday, Lord Gypsy is going to be out doing some card readings on Saturday, trying to raise some money to get some episodes, trying to raise some money to get some more episodes made. You know, a little update. Episode 3, my plan is to premiere it August 10th. That's the date of the planned premiere. So hopefully the cartoon gets done. Well, it's scheduled to be done like 7 days before that date. So even if it takes a few more days, it's going to be no problem. So that's the date for premiere 3. And let me tell you guys, it's going to be wild. But we're got a lot to talk about today, a lot. So let's just jump into the Bigfoot intro and we'll get with Connor on his conference. All right, so we're back. Now, I'm going to share this screen for a second because we had a guy who walked around a conference and just interviewed people. And I just picked one, just for the hell of it. I picked one that actually has a YouTube channel, the one that we know that's been on our channel before. You can see Forest of Monsters. So basically, Connor was just walking around and talking to everybody. Just talking to everybody, having a good time, having the good vibes. And I just picked one. So here's a little bit preview, but I'm going to put the link. Most of you are here, already seen it. But if some of you haven't, I'm going to post it in the chat. That's the link to the full video. And here's a conversation.
So I'm going to show you, there's a footprints my taste on my Caesars too. This is from Caesars 1. But you check out my YouTube channel. And here's my picture sign.
He does like himself.
And glad.
He's got a banner. Where's our banner, Connor?
And also turtleneck.
Yeah.
Where's our banner? Hey, I give him credit. And let me show you guys. He's got different.
I know you're putting the pen to the paper and interviewing people, so you're the trifecta out here.
I am. I'm working really hard. I have 2 books. So actually, I wrote, but I narrated 2 books. One for D.A. Roberts, one for, well, maybe for D.A. Roberts, and one for a lady named Julia Yo. You can hear a chapter of that on Dixie Cryptid.
Very cool. Sentences. I love that, you know. That's what's so cool with like cryptid researchers, and when you're from the same place, like it all aligns. It's so meant to be.
But you have a lot of the same passions, and you know, we read a lot of the same things, we follow a lot of the same people. It's kind of natural that way.
It is natural. You know, we all
for 3 days to film with Pam and Paul. We're going to tell their story. For us, Harry Arnold, as important as the evidence, which is so scarce, is the narrative. So that's all we have. So we can tell the story.
On the campus in Florida, in this exact area that was announced. There's been all kinds of activity there. We get a lot of phenomena.
100%. Yes. So that's you guys.
Oh, look at those nachos.
Very cool.
Hanging out with bugs.
Wow. And you're the author. Man, I'm a big fan of your show and just your vibe. And you're really breaking ground in this cryptid community. And it's podcasts have exploded over the last 10 years. What kind of, got you into it?
My own experiences, actually.
Wow.
I wanted to document some local things in the Southeast where I'm from. I was born and raised in Georgia, so I wanted to start documenting, draw about.
Yeah, the fact that you could write it and draw it really brings it to life. I'm an author myself, but I can't can't really draw. So the fact that you can, bring it a vision to life, that's some special.
All right, everybody. I was just showing you an example of all the different people that Connor was interviewing. It's kind of great. He gave us a taste of so many people in one video. And I didn't want to play you all one person because I want you guys to jump over his channel to check it out. So, Connor, you were not just interviewing people. You were actually one of the spokesperson at this conference, correct?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? You didn't? I thought you were going to be a spokesperson.
No, I was not one of the speakers.
Oh man!
No,
but you did
event, and
but you did a VIP. Didn't you do a VIP dinner?
No, I was not. No, I did not do that. That must have been what you're getting mixed up with the Florida conference. Earlier this year. I don't. You must be.
Well, I thought one of your videos, one of your interviews, you guys were talking about. Oh, there must be a delay. Is there a delay?
Yeah, go ahead. I just logged off TikTok. I think we're in a Mandela effect delay because.
No, because one of your interviews, I think we just lost him. Let's see here. He's probably going to bounce. Yeah, he'll probably bounce right back on. Oh, there he is. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, because people are saying your mic is super quiet, and then Connor sounds like he's on Mars. But let's see. Say something to see if you're louder now.
Am I louder now?
Perfect. No, I was just one of your interviews. You guys were talking about some kind of dinner, so I assume you guys did another VIP dinner.
Nope, but I was not a speaker at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference, but my presence was clearly felt, and that's what it's all about. If they're going to snub me, then I'm still going to show up and tell the story of the conference. And, it's very cool seeing the big headliners like Expedition Bigfoot and Jeffrey Meldrum, but I think it's more important to stop by all the vendor booths and actually see the community there, the people that make things go round. And I got to interview Neoma Finn, Buckeye Bigfoot, Dixie Cryptid, Forest of Monsters, a lot of cool other people, Bigfoot Odyssey, Crypto Reality, a lot of legends out there. And that's definitely what it's about. But no, I was not VIP or anything. I just make myself VIP everywhere I am because that's how you have to be. So next year, I won't be there unless I'm speaking.
Damn straight. One of my funnest things about going to cons is not necessarily the panels. The panel, like you said, the panels, they're cool. I mean, you're listening to them speak about their show and all that stuff you heard 1,000 times before. But it's the groundwork of all the people with the panels, the desks up, selling products, telling their story. It's like I'm not saying the little people, but it's the blue collar people, the hard workers of them all. Those are more of the stories that I like hearing from the people themselves, from the booths. I mean, just, the products that they're making. I mean, you went to some tables. They're making some good weapons. Nice. I saw the guy with making of the sparks for fires and all that.
Yeah.
And then you had these ladies. I don't know what those things were. Those brown things. Like, wow, what the hell is that? It looks interesting.
Yeah, it looked like a squash, but I honestly never got 100% confirmation. But I think they were some type of squash. But yeah, those were incredible art projects. And I went with Flat Rock, and I drove up to Flat Rock's house, Evergreen, Alabama, the town that loved Bigfoot. And then we went together through Pigeon Forge, Knoxville, Atlanta, a lot of cool stops. And then we ended up in Gatlinburg and saw a bunch of familiar faces. It was definitely legendary. But definitely check out the conference video because I captured the culture of it. And everybody that I went there to speak to, I definitely was there, and it was all good. Got to reunite with Seth Breelove from Small Town Monsters. We both came from the same county back in Ohio. And he's like, how old were you when we first met? And I'm like, man, that had to be like 8 years ago. So it's really cool to see how far we both came. And there was just so many other familiar faces, like Mark Newble from Sawdust Beast. That was so trippy running into him. And then Anita, who runs the Alabama Bigfoot Conference. It was really cool to finally put a face to the name of hers. And I'm going to be one of the headlining speakers at her event next year. So just all about, rubbing elbows with the right people, but also, shining light on some of the booths that, deserve a spotlight. But I'm all about it, man. There's no one too big, too small. It was Jeffrey Meldrum at one booth, and then the She Squatch at the other one. So it was an awesome time. And Forest of Monsters, Rick, it was so legendary to finally meet him and meet his family. And he gave me an autographed picture. And then I bought one of his tree knockers, and he stamped it and signed it for me. So it was really cool. Really cool to see RPG and Stacy Brown, Josh and Emmett, my brothers, like people that I've camped with. And then me and Flat Rock actually camped up in the Great Smoky Mountains at Cades Cove, where Dennis Martin's family was camping for the holiday right before he went missing.
Sorry about that. No, I muted on purpose while you're telling that story about your camping. I was telling people on TikTok to join us live on YouTube, so they can chat. They can tell us things. No, that's great. I agree with Terry Brown right here when he said always the VIP and the MVP, because when you watch that conference video of you owned it. I mean, you really did. You owned it. I'm not saying this just to say this because I don't know what the speaker said there. I never watched them, but I think your footage is probably more exciting than if I was watching any of them live. Nothing against them, but you just had a little excitement because you both were interacting, asking questions on each other and about the channels and all that. You were really doing it, and people were drawing children books and all that. It's like, wow. And one of them, I can't remember. I was checking out their channel when you're expressing them, which is good, right? You're sharing information, and we're checking out channels. And you met up with the Yeti bars people.
Yeah, that was really cool too. Yeah, it was so many stars aligning. And honestly, any conference creator or people that facilitate these events should watch that and see, wow, we should bring this guy onto our media team, because I would just be a ground reporter covering everybody. Getting in the nooks and crannies and the cracks of the endeavors. And it was just so legendary, man. And we definitely went from conference to camp out. And then we went to some pyramids that giant bones were connected to. So it was the Holy Trinity, the mighty trifecta. It was so legendary. And I'm very thankful for Flat Rock for facilitating it. I wasn't even thinking about going to the Smoky Mountain Conference, and he asked me if I wanted to go because he had an extra ticket. I was like, let's do it. Let's make memories. Let's make magic miracles happen. So it was so awesome of a trip. And I was very thankful to run into all the people that I did. But there was a couple people that commented on my posts and stuff and said they were looking for me, didn't see me, or they saw me, couldn't get to me. And, I just want to tell all of them, run me down. Clearly I was out and about talking to a million bazillion people. Just get there too. I'm with it.
But yeah, what else is magical?
Looking forward to the next one.
Connor, this is magical. Janine is in the shower. She's in the shower watching us. Isn't that magical? What's better than taking a shower and watching us at the same time? You can't get more magical than that, Takes us to help her get clean. I love it. That's awesome. So thank you for being in the shower and watching us at the same time. I think that's the first. That's the first for me.
And all we can hope is we can get our Bruce Lee on and be like water.
Talking about water. Guys, the first video is called Bake Kujira, the mythical Japanese bone well. A well that's bones. Connor said water. He said the magic word. Let's check this story out.
Hi there everyone, I'm Danny, and welcome to this episode of All Monsters Go to Space. Today, I'm going to be bringing you a short video on the Japanese Baka Kujira, or ghost whale, but is also known as Hona Kujira, or bone whale. This is a large, giant whale spectre from the western regions of Japan. It is a large, skeletal whale and is accompanied by odd-looking birds and fish. It appears on or near the surface of the sea, and it says that they manifest mainly on rainy, stormy nights near the coastal whaling villages. It's said that the people who witnessed a Baka Kujira would become infected with its curse. They would then take this curse back to their home village, and its effects are then felt. It would cause famine, plagues, disasters, fires that decimated the village and things like that. Now, whale sightings used to be a common enough thing back then, to the point where it was actually seen as a blessing for the fishermen, because it meant that they would have oil and food and baleen and things to trade with. But there's a darker side of this, and that is that the souls of all the killed whales became Baka Kujira, and they are out for revenge against the humans that killed them. There are a couple of stories about these creatures. One is about a fisherman who tried to harpoon a Baka Kujira, but the harpoon dart just went straight through without there being any damage. The whale then continued to sail past him. In 1950, the artist Mizuki Shigeru was working on a piece about the Baka Kujira, Kamishibe. He came down with a fever that persisted until he decided to quit the project. But personally, I think this may just be in a case of overworking. I'm prone to it myself. There is also a story that mentions a whale who wears a kimono, and he brought the secrets of rice cultivation with him to Japan. So it seems that not all Baka Kujira are actually bad. The one story I've come across the most is of a group of fishermen on the Shimane Peninsula who were out fishing on a rainy night. I'm not sure when this is actually meant to be set though, but I do think it is an old story. So they came across a large shape and thought that they had come across a whale. They hunted and were eventually in range, but when they tried to harpoon it, their weapon sailed right through. It was completely skeletal. At their closeness, the sea became teeming with fish and birds that were unknown to any of them. The entourage of whale and creatures then turned and swam back out to sea, and it was never seen again. The people returned home and told their story, but as I said, the visage was never seen again, but the Shimane region was affected by diseases and fires. Now, in 1983, there was an actual whale skeleton that was seen off the shore of Anamizu in the Ishikawa prefecture, and journalists went nuts. The headlines read, "Real life Baka Kujira," but it's actually likely to have just been a dead whale that had filled with gas, as they tend to do, floated to the surface and then been scavenged by animals. But another explanation that some have thought up is that it was like a Trojan horse. They say that it may have been an enemy village that had built a whale skeleton to distract the other village. They filled it with waste to spread diseases, or used the whale as a distraction whilst they burnt the village. But what do you think? Do you think it's a spectral whale bringing a curse, or a form of Trojan horse? So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. And I'll see you in the comment section, on Twitter, and...
All right. I don't know if a lot of people in the chat never heard this story. If you haven't, this is fantastic. It's your first time. I think it's an interesting story because, my opinion, more we hurt nature, more we hurt certain species that's doing no damage to us. I mean, you don't hear all the time that whales are attacking humans or eating humans like sharks do, and, they got feelings, they got blood just like we do. They have children and kids. I can see them coming back in full force, taking revenge. I mean, you got to watch what you do. It's just no different than we feel that a guy who's hunting Bigfoot for no reason, unless a Bigfoot is harming you. Don't get me wrong. You're protecting yourself. But if you're not protecting yourself, you're going out to hunt Bigfoot and you shoot a Bigfoot, I hope he does come back as a ghost and hunts you down and hurts you, unless he's attacking you. That's different. But I like that story because I hope that it is a whale that was killed for no reason. There's no reason to hurt a whale. We got enough materials as it is on this planet that we don't need to hurt a whale. Not like they're our last resort to survive. So I hope it is them taking revenge on us, my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a fascinating story just for so many reasons. Just because whales alone, how they use echolocating and how they're large mammals and how they have feelings and are very intelligent, they're fascinating themselves. So, of course, they have strong energy. And yeah, if one is wrongly killed or wrongly treated, it's going to have residual effects. And then it could really manifest using water and all the legends and then all the coastal tribes, magic and stories. And then whatever they're using, that oil or maybe the ivory from the tusks or the ancient bones, whatever they were using it for would have some kind of effect as well. So yeah, I think all the lore would connect, but it is very fascinating. But the one that was a decomposed whale that rose up and with gas and is getting scavenged by the sharks, that's really fascinating how, you know, even just a natural occurrence can actually have some fascinating or supernatural lore or lingering effects to it. So it's just a really cool story, and it is sad that we hunt down these creatures when we could find alternative routes on the land, because there's excess of a lot of things, and we have to maintain the balance. But very, very magical. Anything with water deities is very close to my heart.
And I love how Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, they use that, you know, killing these whales you're basically destroying the planet Earth. I mean, I'm not saying that they're talking to alien ships from out in another world, but the message was there that, you know, you're destroying us when you're destroying everything that's on this planet, you know? So go whales. Now, we all know Christmas. We all know Santa Claus. We also know the evil side of Santa Claus, Krampus. I know most of you know Krampus, the story of Krampus, but maybe some of you don't. So here's a little video on Krampus, the legend of the Krampus Christmas Boogeyman. So if this is your first time on Krampus, wow, you came to the right show.
Most people think of the holidays as all about peace, love, and joy, but this time of year has its share of darkness. One of the most frightening holiday traditions, at least for children, is the legend of the Krampus. The legend seems to have originated from the Alpine areas of Europe. Krampus is said to stalk the night and punish children who misbehave. He appears as a freakishly tall monster. He has the hooves and the horns of a goat and a long, pointed tongue. In some traditions, Krampus is bound in chains. This detail is thought to have been added by the Christian Church as it drew parallels with the devil. In the context of Christmas, Krampus is like the anti-Santa Claus. While Santa delivers presents to good children, Krampus brings coal. Some cultures say he carries birch branches and swats misbehaving kids. December 6th is Krampusnacht, the night when Krampus makes his rounds. In some of the darker stories, Krampus's birch branches are replaced by a whip. Even darker, he brings a sack or wash tub with him to kidnap children. He carries the kids off into the night to be drowned, eaten, or taken to hell. In Norse mythology, Krampus is said to be the son of Hel. Hel is the youngest child of Loki and Angrboda, and the ruler of Helheim, the land of the dead. She is half alive and half dead, a hag with the face and torso of a normal woman, but the thighs and legs of a corpse. And I mean really, if this was your mother, wouldn't you always be in a bad mood too? So if you hear hoofprints up on your rooftop this December, it could be reindeer, or it could be Krampus. Subscribe for more from a...
Ooh, Krampus. You know, some people say that this man is Krampus. Oh, look at that long tongue. So,
they look like each other.
I was thinking when he showed that picture of the long tongue, the first person I thought of, Gene Simmons has a long tongue. Let's take a look. Nah, actually, so Connor, what do you think of the folklore story of Krampus? Do you think there's something to it?
Yeah, I definitely think it's very fascinating. It has a lot of correlations with Baphomet, Goatman, Pan, and even Santa himself. And like Thin Lizzy Borden said, rearrange that and you get Satan and all that end of the year vibes and It's definitely for the occult, and I think it's very fascinating because the Cohelee Creek goat man is very close to here. And last Christmas season, we did a little investigation, and it was like a little Krampus hunt. And then the movie is really fun with Adam
Yes, it
Scott
is.
when it ends with the snow globe, and it's like a mind F, because it's just like, oh my gosh, we're stuck in this weird reality. And then there was another Christmas Horror Stories anthology movie, and it was like this large Krampus that went around like hunting people. And that was really cool. So it's fascinating, man. I love how the calendar has certain creatures too. Crooked calendars, man. October, Oct, that's supposed to be 8, but somehow it's 10. So we're already living a little off. So one day we'll straighten up, and Krampus and the Easter Bunny, and I'm sure all the other gatekeepers will stand in the way, but nothing to our eternal light.
Well, think about this on the religion side. Seriously, think about this on the religion side. Christmas is technically about the birth of Jesus. It's a religion holiday. It's not meant to people go crazy at a Walmart fucking shooting each other for stupid presents to buy each other. It's basically the celebration of the birth of Jesus. And I can see on a religion side that the devil wants to offset it because Christmas is designed for good. And why not put a devil type goat creature out as the rival against the rival against Santa Claus that we made up as humans. I'm just saying for a religion part, I could see it very well being a product of the devil trying to offset the birth of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
It is right. There's so many things to think of Krampus in so many different ways, or maybe it is just a creature that maybe can only live during a winter time era. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but
Definitely.
there's so many ways you could take a Krampus, and that was a great movie. When I remember seeing the trailer for the first time, they made it like kind of happy and stuff. And at first you watch the trailer, at first I was like, I don't know, that looks cheesy. But when you actually watch it, you're like, holy shit, this turns and this is good. It was like one of those.
Scary.
You know what I mean? It's like a total opposite of what you kind of saw in a trailer. You're like, damn, that is good. So what do you guys think in the chat? Do you guys believe in Krampus? Do you think he exists? Or if you do think he exists, do you think he's just like another folklore story of a creature? Or do you believe Krampus is the opposite of Jesus for religion?
Dina P was asking if this was new artwork that I got. And yes, Flat Rock bought me this awesome framed artwork at the conference. It was really cool. He got one from the same series, but just different art. I, of course, picked the one with cleavage on it because it's nice and creative, and I love cartoons. So it's very cool. Yes, Amazing Bigfoot Stories, Harry Bachman, Tearing the Cascades. Plus, is it true what they say about big feet? That's kind of funny. But yes, this is some new art, and it's very creative, and got it at You Big booth up there, and I've seen them a bunch, but didn't get them on video, but we supported them for sure. And Krampus, I think there's a connection between Gremlins as well. That was a Christmas movie, and the creatures look somewhat similar, and then gargoyles and other type of ghoulies. I think there's some kind of connection.
Connor did say about big feet. I'm just saying, I wear size 13 shoes.
Me too.
My feet size 13. I'm just saying. Let's get into some paranormal. I see some people in the chat laughing about us talking about our feet. Hey, just saying, if that theory is true, maybe there is something to it. But beyond that, here's a paranormal footage. It's another one of those ghosts caught on camera. It's called Ghost Caught on Camera. Is My House Haunted? guys, when I'm looking over here, because I'm looking on the screen and I'm reading it. So it's not like I'm looking away on purpose, but that's where I have it written. So let's check out this ghost caught in a house. Or not in a house, in a window. In a window.
Now this isn't normally the kind of video that I make, and with the amount of fake photographs of ghosts and spectres floating around the internet, it's something that I'm always very skeptical of. However, with this one being very personal, it's something that I feel like I have to share. So my mother lives in a house in Northumberland after marrying my stepdad. The manor dates back to the 16th century and is located in the centre of a huge plot of land. The grounds have a church and graveyard on it, and it is the final resting place of Oliver Cromwell. Basically, the entire location is steeped in history. The house itself has 3 floors on it, with the upper floor pretty much being uninhabited after my stepfather's daughter moved out. Recently, my wife and I went up on Boxing Day and decided to have a look upstairs after hearing from my sister that she'd heard people walking around up there when she stayed over one night. We love ghost documentaries and thought this would be a great fun place to look. Needless to say, we weren't disappointed when going into one of the rooms and discovering a creepy clown doll hanging up in the middle. Bar that though, there didn't seem to be anything supernatural about the place. Recently though, my mother was going for a walk around the house and thought she saw someone standing in one of the attic windows, so she grabbed her phone and took the following photo. My mum is as skeptical as I am, but after sending us this photo, it's pretty clear to me that there is someone standing there. I have absolutely no idea who this is, and he looks nothing like my stepfather, and we don't have any family members that this could be. No one from the family recognizes the figure, and this kind of thing isn't something that my mother would stage or try to fake. As you can see from the image, we've not tried to Photoshop it, doctor it, or change it, and it's really freaked everyone out that I've shown it to. Obviously, if you have any theories or plausible explanations for the photograph, I'd love to hear it, as we're all kind of coming up with our own theories. Please leave them in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, as I will probably be picking up on this story when we've had it properly looked into. Thanks for taking the time to would stage or try to
find that picture.
shown it to.
Okay. You know, first of all, one thing I like about the video is he kind of gave an explanation of the story, and I like the ones where somebody was just taking the pictures and they noticed something. Now, am I here to tell you that image, you can see there's an image there. If that image, it almost has like a blue color somewhat. It's like some of the video shots of the picture looks like there's a red tint in a weird way, but I think it's a nice photo. And you know, I mean, when you look at that photo, what do you think, Connor? You think that somebody looking out at them?
Yeah, that picture is pretty interesting right there. You can clearly see some kind of mass or formation or shadow type being right in between the blinds, of course. But I like how there's the second angle of the photo, and it gives you just a little bit more depth. And it played it right after. It looks very similar. But that second photo they showed was really fascinating, and that kind of confirmed it for me, because you can, play with angles. Yeah, you'll have to skim through it and find the other angle they showed.
Yeah, I love.
Unless I was just watching it from another angle, but yes, you can definitely see a mass in the middle.
They circled it too in one of this right there. And
yeah, okay. I think they just heightened it right there,
yes,
and maybe edited it, but right there, you can see it clearly.
That's where I saw a little bit of the red tint right there. Was that picture right there? You can see the blue, and you can see the red. And like I said, I like his story behind it. So, hey, guys, you don't know who's watching you.
It even looks like a dress at the bottom, how it poofs out.
Yeah.
Very fascinating.
Yeah. I know somebody's going to say, probably someone's going to say they put a doll there. I mean, there's always going to be skeptics of everything, but hey,
Paranormal Pixie and Susan just said a dress as well. So we're all seeing the same thing. So that's very cool.
Yeah, it's like a blue dress. And I feel like the ghost has red hair. I don't know why. It's like when I look up close to the face area, I see a little red tint. I don't know why. We're here. They popped it out to me. It's the reddish brown. Yes. Reddish brown. That's what I meant. Yeah, you can see the reddish brown. I love it when people can see some of the colors that you see. All right. I think that's a good one. Now, this next one, somebody sent it to me. Say, hey, you should check this out. And actually, I never watched this. I did check it to make sure there's not a copyright on it, but I didn't watch the video. But it's called Paranormal Ghost Hunting at an Abandoned Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. So this is the first time me watching this, but like I said, I did double check to make sure somebody wasn't sending me something that's copyright. You'd be surprised. People will try to send you stuff and they know that it's copyrighted on purpose. Believe it or not, there are people out there. But let's see. Let me see what this video is about.
Pulling up to Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. I honestly have no clue what to expect.
Come to you and ask you to protect our hearts, minds, bodies, and souls from any and all inhuman, malevolent, foul, or evil spirits. We ask your guidance so we may get through this night safely without harm to your children on either side.
You're in Tennessee. 10,000 people died on the Krampus Mountain. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of angry energy there. I'll tell you that.
It's really, really creepy. It does not look pleasant. I do not want to stay here. It feels eerie, man. So it's a little creepy. I don't even know how to describe it, man. Creeped out looking at some of the walls that we see. I mean, people just marking on the walls. Some of the stuff you see up here, people counting off the days. Just finding something to pass the time, I guess. But, not a place I'd want to be back then. Not a place I want to be now. Definitely not a place I want to be back then. With some of the regulations and stuff that they had. I mean, it seemed like this place was kind of a free-for-all at some point. So.
Okay, I more felt like it was a trailer kind of to a TV show. I don't know if that's a TV show or not, but in theory, think about it, people. A state prison, rundown state prison. 10,000 people have died. Think about the people who've died. I mean, if you go to prison, some people went to prison for wrongful. I'm not saying everybody's guilty who went to prison. They have reasons or not, but you got to say some of these prisons have some bad people. So there's a lot of bad people have died, killing themselves, whatever reasons, cops killing, I don't know. But think about a lot of the bad energy that are at these kind of rundown jail places. I mean, they would probably, in my opinion, be one of the most scariest places on earth because of the amount of bad energy, right? Because you only need one bad ghost, right, in a house to fuck your world up. A prison, there are hundreds of bad souls that's ready to get you. And they said 10,000 have died. My God, that's just
crazy high numbers. And yeah, penitentiaries have trapped energy and these people are suffering, and the good people that are wrongly in there, they're suffering, and then the monsters there and they carry their own negative energy. So yeah, it's a very dark place. And then that they didn't have any regulations, it was just like a free-for-all. I'm sure there were a lot of murders and a lot of horrible crimes that happened within those walls. And yeah, the residual energy is definitely trapped there. Kind of reminds me of the Moundsville Penitentiary, right in the West Virginia, Ohio River area. I've grown up going there, and you can definitely feel stuff and hear weird whispers and trapped voices, disembodied voices. It's very strange feeling. So yeah, but like you said, that definitely had like a project vibe to it, not like an investigation.
Yeah, so somebody sent it to me. And then, like I said, if you guys send me stuff, I'll show it. As long as there ain't no freaky stuff in it, but I'll show it. Sure, why not, Eric? Let's bring the big boys out. Shit, yeah, they should sponsor us and go to these places. Fucking Connor and I will visit every single rundown jail place across the United States, across the world. We would. We'll take chances. I'll take a chance being possessed. I know Connor would. So yes, if we could, we probably would.
I would definitely. I would spend a night in a haunted prison, no doubt.
Yeah, if we know that food could be provided for us and the places that we're living at can still be paid while we're on these adventures, yeah, we will go in a heartbeat. But what would UFOs think? Let's go check it out. Wow, no, I was just reading a comment that one of the actors, Danny wrote last night, Paul Sorvino, star of Goodfellas, passed away, and this morning, Tony Dow, known as Wally on Leave It to Beaver, passed away. Very sad. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it sucks when you hear people die because, when you get older, you're getting older, right? You don't want to hear about deaths. But that is sad. Thanks for letting us know, Danny. I didn't know that they passed away. This UFO is a UFO report, government transparency, or fodder for alien conspiracy theory. Now, we know they talk about the report that's going to be, it already came out. They come out. But there's something about, there's this guy they talked to, and there's something that he said that I'm like, huh? And I want to play it for you guys. When he says this thing, I'll let you guys know and see what you guys think of it.
It has been a question pondered for years. Are we alone? The new government report confirms those unexplained objects seen over and over are real.
But questions remain on their origin. And News 8's Joe LaFurgey spoke with some local space experts to get their response tonight.
Space experts.
When stargazers gather here at the Venus Observatory in Lowell, they're searching the sky for things that can be explained by science.
People seem to show up here. They want to know the science. They want to see for their own eyes if they're here, or they want to understand the science at the planetarium.
But according to this week's report to the Director of National Intelligence on Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, there are unexplained objects flying around out there. After years of speculation, dismissiveness, and conspiracy theories, the report is the first time the government has admitted the existence of UAPs, or what we used to call UFOs.
I think it's good that they're trying to be transparent. So if they put a report together and they cite whatever evidence they have. There's a whole fleet of them.
The report, which tracked UAP sightings between 2004 and March of this year, lists 5 possible explanations for them. Airborne clutter like birds, balloons, and drones. Natural atmospheric phenomena like ice crystals, moistures, and thermal fluctuation. U.S. government or...
Yeah, we know that every single one of those is probably the reason for every sighting that we've seen. Yeah, we know that.
Private industry development programs like secret weapons for our side, or foreign adversary systems like secret weapons for their side. Last on the list is other, and it's that other category that may have many using a fill-in-the-blank approach involving alien cover-ups and other theories, something that has skywatchers like Farish concerned.
As we know, the latter years, there's been all kinds of anti-science sentiment in the country, and it gets in the way of people, for instance, taking care of themselves by getting vaccinations. And anti-science, that's not right.
We have a link to the full report at...
That's why I was playing this, because he uses the word like anti-science, that is not right. And I don't think it's, personally, my opinion, I don't think it's about anti-science. I think a lot of us are just freaking tired of them trying to have an explanation for every little thing, you know, and they all use the word is backed by science. No offense. How do we know? I'm seriously, literally, how do we know if something is backed by science? I mean, people use the word science like nothing, like handing out candy. Well, we back this by science. What do you mean you backed it by science? Is there a graph? I don't know. Is there a monitor? Is there something you can show us? It's so easy to use the word science. I've always said this. You can find science to support your thing. You can find science to not support your thing. There's science for everything. So what the fuck do they mean? You know, anti-science. People are more anti-science. I don't think people are more anti-science. I think more people are waking up to the idea that we're tired of fucking being lied to. More, you know, being lied to by NASA, being lied to by the government, being lied to. And they all say, well, if you can't back it by science, well, what the fuck are you talking about not backing it by science? What science technique you're using to prove your point? You know, nobody really shows you nothing. They use the word science like fucking candy. And I think most of the people are just tired of it. And we're all looking for answers ourselves then, expecting to hear something from social media like the Fox News, the CNN, and the so-called top scientists in the world. We know, we've learned everybody's corrupted. Everybody can be bought off. I think we're just all fucking tired. And I'm looking for answers to Connor's connections. I'm looking for answers from you people in the chat. Fuck the so-called experts. And I hate the word experts too. What makes a person an expert? Oh, this guy learned this. Hey, college is important. Don't get me wrong. College isn't important. But this guy looks at a telescope, so he must know everything more than you. Come on, give me a break. We can all look up. I don't know. Am I digging too much into this, Connor, of this anti-science word?
No, that guy was definitely a pussy. All that rant was for him just to push the shots at the end, and he was trying to link people that are questioning that, linking in with wanting to deny science with UFOs. So that whole guy had an agenda. He had no original thoughts that whole time. He wasted our time. He should be dragged behind a truck for as long as I can run for. And yeah, I can go for a few miles.
I just fucking always hate it when they say stuff like that, you know. But can you prove it by science? Well, what do you mean? How am I supposed to prove it by science? Is there a certain tool that will be recognized by the science community? I mean, what? Tell me what? What will make to convince you guys? What are you guys are using for us to convince? I mean, they can fucking show us any kind of fucking machine and say, we use this. This is called the Open Blackout Buka Zulalacha. And this tells us, you know, oh, really? Shit. I can make up shit and tell you guys this. When I plug this in the wall, this will tell me that the science behind it, there's a ghost. Fuck all that shit. But here's a cool little footage of caught on camera of a UFO. It's called Mystery Ass Anchor Shaped UFO Leaves Trail of Smoke Before Crashing into Sea. And this was actually filmed by another country. So I don't worry what they're saying in the background because you're not going to be able to understand it anyway. Look at that thing coming down.
Tak tahu. Tak dapur lah.
I think it's kind of neat. It's like a TikTok, headed straight down.
Tak tahu. Tak dapur lah.
Slower time, slowing down. And this is people know I did research it a little bit, and because it is in another country. Apparently, there was no planes that went down that day where this thing's coming down. So when somebody's gonna say, "Well, that's probably a plane going straight down, smoke," apparently there's no plane. So if there is no plane, and when you see it go straight down, it doesn't look like there's no splash or anything. But I mean, it could be a far shot. But I just want to shoot out there that apparently there's no plane. And yeah, Susan, it does. When you look at it, it looks like it goes straight into the water. So, and that's not a bird. A bird, unless a bird keeps shitting or farting and you're seeing the shit farts particles in the sky, but I don't think that's a bird. I think it's a pretty good footage.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating, man, because I love those kind of that shape, the Tic Tac, some people call it. But I think it's just like from Arrival, the movie with Amy Adams. Very cool how it's a long, more like a I don't know, up to bottom than horizontal, like a vertical shape. And who knows what is above that? I'm sure that's just a pod that can go down to their little base under the sea.
And look at this. I get to play this video. Nah, seriously, thank you, Terry. That's very kind of you. And just so everybody know, Lord Gypsy, Jedi Gypsy, is going to be out Saturday doing a card reading in the morning with Chad Smith. Chad Smith is going to be joining. And the idea of the card reading is to raise more money to get several more episodes, cartoons out, to get a nice little set. So if you guys want to help donate on Saturday for a card reading, please come by. All right. Like I said, I think that's a very good video. And then what do I have? Now, guys, this is going to be stick around for the Mandela effect, because this is going to be interesting in a certain point of view. It is going to be interesting. And I want to get your guys an opinion on something. So stick around. It's going to be very exciting.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. Luke, I am your father.
All right. Melissa says, thank you, Connor. Now I'm having signing under the sea in my head for hours. Connor putting stuff in people's heads for hours. All right, guys. Now, this is kind of a different of a Mandela effect type of deal, because I'm going to show you two different kind of videos. And it's about when to believe in a way, should you believe, how to believe. I know it sounds weird, because when you think of a Mandela effect, you think of Bigfoot, you think of UFO, you think of paranormal, right? Bigfoot is something that people are trying to prove that it's real. I mean, Connor and I know it's real. We know people who've seen it. I felt like I've seen one, but there's a way of trying to prove it, right? There's DNA that people are trying to proving, and there is already DNA out there, but it just depends on what kind of evidence you want to believe, you want to hear or not. But and you know that there's about 2,000 different species are found every year on this planet. So there is a way to try to determine that Bigfoot is real through DNA or capturing Bigfoot himself. Okay, UFOs, looking up. I'm not talking about unidentified flying. I'm talking about from another world, ships from another world. You're trying to prove it by a physical shape, right? You're trying to prove it by a physical shape. That they're real, a ship, technology, all that kind of stuff. Paranormal, there's a way to prove it. Catching it on camera, filming it, seeing the energy, talking to ghosts, there's mediums could talk it. Mandela effect is probably the hardest trying to prove, just because the change has already happened. You have two different memories, right? So when you see videos of the person themselves saying a certain way. For example, here's a 30-second clip of Earl Jones saying, "Luke, I am your father." Here, just for a second. Here, listen. This is what I'm getting at.
When I first saw the dialogue that said, "Luke, I am your father," I said to myself, he's lying. I wonder how they're going to play that liar.
Now, most people will see that clip and say, "See, look, Earl Jones says he remembers, Luke, I am your father." He's right on the money. We're going to believe him. We're going to accept this in the community. But what happens when you have another person saying that's a major Mandela effect is saying you're kind of wrong? This is an example. Here we go. Ed McMahon.
Publishers Clearinghouse, right?
No.
You show up with a,
No.
it's not Publishers
No.
Clearinghouse.
American.
What's Publishers Clearinghouse?
That's another company.
What are you?
That's our rival.
Is that your rival?
American Family Publishers. We're American Family.
What's
That's
the Publishers
okay.
Clearinghouse?
Craig, anybody can make a mistake. It could happen to anybody.
But why did I have to do it with somebody who knows Johnny Carson?
No, it's
You go back and
American
tell him.
Family Publishers.
Yeah.
We have rivals. It's like everything else. You know.
What do those guys give away?
They gave away the same amount of money. You know, they're
$11
on the
million.
Super Bowl. Everybody gets us confused, so don't feel badly.
All right.
But does that take away from my 4 minutes?
No.
I mean,
Now he said right out the bat that he's always worked for American and not Publishers Clearinghouse. So my thing is, then I see people in the community bash him because he's saying the opposite. But people don't bash Earl Jones because he says the word they want to hear. So who do we believe? I mean, you know what I mean, Connie? You get what I'm saying? Like he's saying that he worked for American. Earl Jones was saying the script of Luke. So why do we bash Ed and not bash Earl Jones? Because they're saying what we want. We don't want Ed to say that, and we wanted Earl to say that. You know what I'm getting at? When do we say the fine line is we can't use this as evidence?
Exactly. Yeah, people pick and choose what evidence and residue they want to pick up. So yeah, I think it's fascinating. I try not to bash anybody, but people that deserve it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to bash anybody, but it is interesting, like you have a memory, but when you have like these two guys, him and Earl Jones, two major Mandela effects, one remembers saying the line Luke, but this one remembers American. And who are we to say he's right and he's wrong? You know what I mean? It's a hard one to try to accept. And there's no right or wrong, right? But I don't think, because I hear people said this video, Ed McMahon, he's a sellout. He's just saying, is he a sellout? But this is the thing is, anybody who studies the Mandela effect, there's a thing in the Mandela effect community that believes that you're accepting downloads. I know it sounds Matrix. I know it sounds weird that you're accepting a download where you're seeing this memory from a multiverse, time travel, whatever it is. Okay, if that's true, if you believe in that, then why bash Ed McMahon for this? You could easily said, well, he hasn't taken the download yet, right? Could that be considered a hypocrite?
And sometimes on these late night shows, it's all a gag. They're just playing with everybody else in the whole world. It's the fourth wall. So I don't know, man. I'm disconnected from the Ed McMahon one because I was born in 1992. This dude, not with my childhood, but
and I wasn't playing Ed McMahon just for that reason. I was just trying to prove a point that you have two different people in the major community. One says the thing you wanted to hear, and the other one says the thing you don't want to hear. Then who are you going to believe? And like you said, people want to believe what they want to believe. They're gonna put Earl Jones on their backs and see. But then you got Ed McMahon saying the opposite. Oh, he's a sellout. Is he really? If we all respect people's memories, then Ed remembers American Public clearinghouse, no big deal. It's no big deal. No reason to fall down a rabbit hole. That's why I take Mandela effect as to have fun with it, to use it to learn, study, look in the background, use it for research, finding out why, if there's a memory change. I use it for fun. I don't go down rabbit holes. I don't like calling people names because to me it's not worth it. Because if we are in belief that we're taking downloads in different times, then people just haven't taken downloads yet. It's that simple. It is a fascinating phenomenon in a way because just believing in it. If you do believe in it, then you're asking yourself, but what is it? Is it are we living in a matrix? Are we remembering a multiverse, parallel universe, time travel? Is it God or Jesus making these changes? You know what I mean? That's why I think it's the hardest one for the people on this planet to accept, because Bigfoot's easier, right? It's either real or it's not. There's either life. Hold on. There is life on other planets. I really, truly believe that. But have they visited us? Yes or no? Ghosts. Are they spirits from us? But when you go into this field, there's so much more you got to determine on why something's happening. And that's why it's nice to see when people have residue on misspelled words on YouTube and all that. That's all good and dandy, but it is a harder phenomenon. I'm just using the word phenomenon here. I'm not saying it's not real or fake, but that's why it's a harder word to the harder one versus the other ones. It's probably the reason why that one gets bashed the most, because it's harder to wrap your head around versus the other communities. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's very fun. I think it's cool that magic and mystery can be with us all the time. You don't have to look very far. Berenstein Bears, J.C. Penney, Chick-fil-A. It's all right around us. It's also cracking the code of programming too. And I'm a big sign of the subliminal messages. So I'm always trying to see where they're trying to lead us and what they're trying to hide us from over here. So I think it's very fun. I think you and I have a very similar approach with the Mandela effect. Me and you are just pop culture nuts by ourselves. So the fact that it adds more mystery and fun to it, just like finding the jersey numbers in the back to see if those change. It's cool Easter eggs like you and I. I don't think it's going to be leading us off any cliffs or anything though. So
no,
we're safe.
No, and you're always going to have weird memories. Just like when we were in Seaside, Oregon, there was this hotel called the Shiloh Inn. It's right on the beach, and we stayed at this one hotel like 10 years ago because I had a free voucher one time from workplace, and I remember my wife talking about, wasn't it fun staying at this hotel because we got it free, and we're just walking around the beach. And she goes, yeah, the kids had fun too. I was like, the kids didn't go with us on this trip. And she said they did. I have no memory of kids with me at this hotel, but she said they were there. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I just misremembering? It's, you know what I mean? It's just one of those weird things like, oh my God, our kids went to stay to this hotel because it was during winter time. We actually went up there. We went home in a snowstorm, but we had to cut down to Portland to go to Washington because there's one road we couldn't take because of a snowstorm. And she said the kids was with us. And I'm like, really? They were? You know what I mean? I had no memory of the kids being there. But then you can say, Eric misremembering, or did my wife have Mandela effect and she saw something, or did I? You just don't know. You just don't know. It's just,
or is it two different timelines and she went on a trip and you went on a trip? Two different activities. That's some next level stuff. I love it.
It is, isn't it? I'm sure a lot of us have that where you're just sitting there like, we did not take the kids. Yes, we did. Why would I take the kids in a winter storm? Only reason I went there during a winter storm because I had free vouchers to stay. It's a $400 a night hotel.
Wow.
And it was only good during these blackout days. Apparently during the war, but you know, she said they were there. You know, we were talking about a trip we took to Vancouver Island that she said the kids went to, and I'm like, the kids did not go to Vancouver Island with us during this time. But you know,
Yeah. Either it's a phenomenon or one of you guys got a really shitty memory.
Exactly. Or it is what it is. So today's Tuesday. So what do you got coming up? Do anything special this week?
Yeah, I'm heading to the river right after this to go kayaking, snorkeling, and looking for teeth. I've been trying to manifest mammoth teeth this whole time, or a mammoth tusk. You know, I found so many teeth, shark teeth, megalodon teeth, bunch of bone fragments, even pieces of mammoth teeth. But I want to find a full one with enamel and all. But tomorrow I'm going to be on Kark. Those guys that came on our channel a while back, they're having me on to talk about the skunk ape. Yeah. And the guy that actually came on our show, he's the head of Kark, I'm pretty sure. He's not two of the guys that are going to be interviewing me. But two of the guys were at the Gatlinburg conference, but they, we didn't run into each other. And I hope they watch my video to see that I was covering a lot of ground. They should have ran into me. But man, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna talk my shit and spread the awareness about the skunk ape and the grass man. And provide some evidence and break down some other good evidence from Florida and like the Mississippi area.
And guys, here's the link to the Kark YouTube page. I'm trying to see if they have that link up yet for tomorrow. Let's see here. I don't see it yet. But you guys got the link to the channel. And yeah, the Kark show, he's mostly the engineering behind the scenes. He's in a couple, but he has two main hosts of the show. And he does a lot of the camera work and computer work behind the scenes. And he was the one that was on our show. So he's a good guy. He has his own opinions. And he doesn't mind telling people his opinions. So I'm excited to see that. Because I watch a few of their videos. They're good people. Let me see here. Let me click their videos here, and they look at everything in their open mind, and they don't have a problem telling their point of view. You might not agree with them on a lot of what they're saying, but there's some you might agree with them on. Look, they even had, I didn't know that, they even had the Sea Squatchers on. Yeah, I need to get them back on the show. Yeah, I can't wait to see that tomorrow. Do you know what time tomorrow?
I think it's 6 o'clock Central, so it's right before our show.
Yeah, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Pacific time, and I'm working on a couple people, trying to get some people on. So I don't know who the guest is yet, but I am working on a couple people. And first of all, guys, like I told you, the premiere date that I'm shooting for an episode 3 cartoon is August 10th. That's the premiere date that I'm shooting for. That it should be good. And like I said, this Saturday, Lord Gypsy's going to be card reading, trying to raise some money to get some of these episodes made. And let me tell you guys, I got some good stories. So if you guys want a reading, you want a tribute to the show on Saturday by watching it, please watch it. Please do. And beyond that, guys, see you guys tomorrow night. And then I think Bigfoot Anon does a show also on Wednesdays around 9 a.m. Pacific time. I think he's in the chat. Anthony, you have a show tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Is that still going on? Now, what is he? Eric?
Yeah,
Connor,
I think he has a show about submerged objects, unidentified submerged objects, USOs.
Does he have a link already up for it? Let's see.
Yeah, I saw one. But I also saw one for Kark too, and that didn't show up. So you never know what Facebook will do or what YouTube is capable of.
Yeah, he does.
And Eric, I want to just give a special shout out to you though, real quick. Like, you're blowing up on TikTok, 18,000 followers on there. So the hard work's really paying off, and it's really cool to see. And I can't wait till you get your nose into some of these conferences, and now you can punch them with the right and the left. With you have a strong YouTube base, and then boom, almost 20K on TikTok. But yeah, you're killing it. Your one video hit over 400,000, man. Very cool. And then your video at the police station from the Goonies, that got about 5,000, so that was really cool. And since your profile is getting so many views right now, your pinned video of our cartoon is blowing up. So once you go viral one time, everything just starts pouring in. So it's really cool. I honestly would not be surprised if one day your profile passes mine, just because the way Paranormal Highway, it's got that flow to it. Be interesting, you know. Let's race each other to 500,000. Let's see where we're at, you know.
Yeah, and before I went on vacation, the short vacation, it was at 9,000, and then somehow it doubled. it's just weird on how it works. It is what it is, man. It's meant to be. And guys, we appreciate every single one of you for being here today. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I want to thank Suzanne A. She's a member of the channel. I want to thank Dina P. Terry Brown's a member of the channel. 12 Pearls, Freaky Geek, Christy, Danny. Danny's a member of the channel on one of his other links. Strange Land. So good to see all you great people here today. Unidentified S4 is a member of the channel. Good to see you here. And beyond that, guys, have a great day, and see you guys tomorrow.